So I think it'll be good if, we could have a small reading of one story that you can pick.
Pick up, yeah. Maybe I'll read a part of one story.
Yeah, that'll be good. Good.
Okay. So this one I call The Shell Lantern, and this is part one of the story. Okay. So I'll just read a few paragraphs, Neha. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. The Shell Lantern. He leaned over the stone wall, resting an arm on it. A few loose bits of gravel pierced his elbow before dropping on the sand below. Shifting his right foot to a more comfortable position, he continued puffing on his cigarette, sending up smoke rings into the evening sky. Waves, no longer gentle, lashed again and again against the few rocks that edged a section of the beach. The normal sky blue of the water looked a murky, muddy brown. There were very few people about, as it had just rained heavily, and except for a couple of lovebirds lost in each other's eyes, there was hardly anyone around. The beach itself looked eerie and had that peculiar feel about it, the sort that beaches always have after a heavy thunderstorm. Suhas hated that feeling and usually avoided the beach then, but at this moment, he couldn't care less. He had a lot on his mind. He rubbed a tired hand across his eyes and sighed aloud. He felt helpless. He had no idea as to how he could possibly remove her hurt. Had he lost her already? How would his life be ahead? Thoughts lashed around inside his mind, similar to the waves in front of him. 2 miscarriages could take a toll on any woman, he thought to himself wearily. It was just that he had no clue as to how to handle the situation. The smallest thing seemed to trigger her these days, and silly arguments mushroomed into terrible verbal battles, ones that hurt terribly. Suhas threw down the bit of cigarette left between his fingers and ground it out with the heel of his shoe. He was just fumbling around in his pocket for another one when he felt a light touch on his elbow. Suhas turned around and found a skinny little boy smiling up at him. His skin was tanned to a deep brown. The striking features on his face were a pair of sea green eyes and a wide smile that dazzled with its brilliance. The eyes looked out of place against his chocolate brown skin, and yet made it so beautiful that Suhas found himself staring at the child. "Shall I dive for you?" the little fellow asked him, hiking up his shorts, the only clothing that he wore, a little higher, as they seemed too large for his bony frame and were slipping off. "Dive? And in this weather?" Suhas shook his head in amazement. "No, it's far too dangerous. Some other time, maybe." "I can do it, sir. Give me a little money and I will find you a beautiful shell. I know where to find them. See my friends over there?" He pointed to a spot in the sea. Suhas could see a group of little boys swimming and playing in the water. "They also pick out shells, but they never find the kind of shells I get. So, sir, shall I dive for you? I'm not scared of the sea." "She's not dangerous. She's my friend," said the little boy. Suhas couldn't help smiling and pulled out a 10-rupee note from his wallet. "Here, you can take this, but dive for me some other day when the water is less stormy." "No way, sir," the boy smiled cheekily, pocketing the money which he first secured by carefully wrapping the note in a little bit of plastic and then tucking it into the waistband of his shorts. "I'll get you a shell. Wait here." And away he ran before Suhas could utter a single word, and splashing right into the water, swam away with strong and swift strokes. I think I'll stop here.
Oh, wow. You transported me to another world altogether with that reading.
The purpose of my story has been served.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like you mentioned, I think the description that you put in, it actually creates this imagination, and you start seeing everything in front of you or in your mind,
Somehow I feel you relate to a story so much better when that happens. I mean, that's the style I follow. So,
yeah. So to our listeners, if Sreeja's story and her book reading has inspired you, please be sure to check out her latest book, Love Shots, which is available on Amazon. And we'll leave the link in the description.